Nice to see you again. My name's Tanis. I'm a knitter and general crafter, and I live down in the south of the UK. Thanks for coming back if you've been here before, and welcome, hello if I've not met you before. So, been a while, but that's just because I fell out of the habit. No drama, no real reason for it. I just stopped for a bit. Lazy, that's my problem, lazy bones. That uploading and editing and stuff is a bit of a pain in the bum, so I just avoided it. So now I have quite a few things to show you, so I'm going to try and crack on, rattle through and not spend too much time waffling. This I have to show you straight away. This is my Aurora Hunter. I'm so happy with this. This is an Amber O'Brien pattern, who I've very recently, I've known about her, but I've never knit anything of hers before, and I even own a couple of her patterns. But she did some Instagram posts previewing this before she released the pattern, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I like it's intarsia, which I thought, oh, but I used to do intarsia when I was a child in the 80s, so I don't know why I felt intimidated by that as an adult. I think it's because people host workshops for it, which is another thing I might come back to later. I think people overcomplicate things when they sell you. When you see things advertised as a, I'm just gonna come out with it now then. When you see things advertised as a workshop, it makes it sound intimidating, like it's like you need a proper big class to learn how to do it. And all intarsia is really is just the yarn that you were using. Just lay it over the top of your new yarn as you're knitting the row, just once, no twisting, no pulling tight or anything, off you go, and you get these perfect joins. Now in the 80s, when my mum taught me intarsia, which we didn't call intarsia then, we just called it, you know, it's just part of knitting, she used to wrap the yarn around twice, pull it tight, and then you get like sometimes you can get a little sort of knotty thing poking through, and it's a little bit distorting. But this is so simple. So if you've never done intarsia, this would be an excellent pattern to try it out on. And there's no like holding hundreds of little bobbins of yarn, because it's just it's only ever two colours, and you just join the colour and then disconnect. I can't forget the words. And cut it to finish, so you're not carrying yarn anywhere. It's really simple. Anyway, this is the Aurora Hunter. It's a massive, you start at this end, start at the little end, and it uses mini skeins. So I've done the big one because why not. There is a smaller version, but I'd used the 12 skein advent calendar kind of section, but I just used random minis. I bought a set of someone else's random minis from a D stash on Facebook, the Yarn Snobs UK group. Anyway, bought it on there, and these are the black is just bog standard West Yorkshire spinner's signature, and the colours are all truly hooked, and they are absolutely beautiful. So you just do these these stripes, these are lovely blocks into the middle. Now in the middle you get a double, so make sure when you get to your middle one you've got one that you really like, and then you cycle back through in the opposite direction, back down to your start colour again. And I saw this thing that Amber did where she was wearing it. Wow, it's really hot today. This is a bad day for trying on shawls. She just put it round her neck, and she had a shawl pin, so she sort of gathered it there, and I just loved the way it looks almost like the revers of a jacket. Do you see what I mean? When you're wearing it, and I just thought that is the loveliest way to wear a shawl. And you don't have to use mini skeins. You could use whatever you have. You can use a ball of variegated yarn and a solid, or you could completely flip it and have your solid here and your variegated as the teeth, as it were. But that's just a fine thing, isn't it? Anyway, so I'm a bit in love with Amber O'Brien's patterns now. Sorry, I'm going to just stand up so you can see my massive bulk. Hold on. Yes, I just thought I'm having a year of like wanting to really only knit female designers. I think some of the big name boys get a lot of attention, and although it is massively deserved for most of them, I do feel like when women are designers, it's kind of just seen as, it can be seen as a bit lesser. Like men always get that kind of the kudos of like, oh, isn't he marvellous? When really, you know, he's just, the men are just doing what we're doing. Why am I doing this all wrong? How is that going all wrong? Oh well. Doesn't matter, does it? I just want to show it off to its best advantage. Oh, I've got it on the wrong way round. Hold on. Oh, I'm such a div. I was wondering why I couldn't make it drape nicely and I put the wrong edge round her neck. Oh, that's better. That's better. My little mannequin doesn't have a name, by the way. I just call her her. And also, when I blocked it, I over blocked it. So I made it a bit too stretched out. So I popped it. And I did have my heart in my mouth when I was doing this, honestly. I popped it in the tumble dryer for 40 minutes when it was nearly dry. But now I've got some kind of washing machine marks on it, so it needs washing again, which is annoying. Anyway, yeah, I've had a nice few weeks recently. I've been, we've got this really nice place near me called the Spring Arts Centre. And they have like really short, like 1 day runs of unusual films and things, and they do that live theatre broadcasts and stuff. But they did one that was an event cinema one. That's what they call it. But it was like a pre-recorded event cinema, and it was called From Ballet to Broadway. And I quite like going to these things on my own, but I had a group of 4 people sitting there. It's never full there because it's in the middle of the day, and because I work for myself, a bit more freedom to go to things like that, which is lovely. Anyway, normally I'd be a bit like, if in a half-empty theatre you get a group of people sitting next to you, but they were so lovely, and they just included me as if I was part of their group, and it was all like small pieces, small ballet pieces, and it was from like classical ballet through to like really modern stuff. And then after each piece they'd kind of say to me, oh, what did you think? And we had like a nice little chit chat, and it was absolutely lovely. I really enjoyed it. So they weren't from around this area though. They, I think, were more towards Chichester way, and but they're hoping to go there again because they liked it. So I'm quite hoping that I bump into them again because they're really nice people. I have of course forgotten all their names. Right then, let's get on to what I've got to get on with. This is another shawl I've made. It's a very small triangle shawl. I've used Nellie and Eve, which is plant dyed yarn. Oh, I hope this colour's coming out better on screen than when I tried to take photos of it. It's this lovely sort of olivey, mossy, quite a light sort of mossy green, if you know what I mean, like an olive green, but it's got a yellow and brown. That's a good yeah, it's got textures of yellow and brown in it, tones of yellowish brownish. It's the most gorgeous thing, and I thought I'd just have it as, I just fancied like a little small, you know, around your neck like that, or I fancied, what I really fancied was like the other way, just like a really simple little thing you can wear under a coat or a jacket, or just, you know, just easy ozy. Obviously not in mid-June, but yeah, just quite a small one, because sometimes you can feel a bit swamped by the really big shawls, can't you? But yeah, I thought this yarn was so lovely that it just deserved to be doing the work, you know, just to let it shine. So it's just a really simple made up, I just made it up myself. It's a simple triangle. It's got I-cord edging all the way round, and my increases were just a simple yarn over next to, can you see? I don't know if you can. Simple yarn over next to the I-cord on every other row. So on like the outbound row, do your I-cord, your 3 I-cord stitches, then a yarn over, then knit along, and then the other end yarn over, I-cord stitches, and then on the way back just knit straight across, no yarn overs, and it makes like a nice gradual triangle, but it gives you a nice long top edge as well, making it quite practical, I think. And I love when they've got an I-cord edging, because I just think it looks all kind of squishy, and I love garters, which is sort of squishy and gorgeous. But I think that I-cord edging makes it look quite professional. Quite professional. Professional is a word I kind of avoid using because it makes me think of because I am from Essex, and it makes me think of that nice girl Amy from The Only Way is Essex from years ago, used to call herself professional. I finished another keyhole scarf, which is in like a old shale. This is not feather and fan, it's old shale, and it's just a really simple little thing. Again, it's for just filling, I don't want too much bulk around my neck, and it's got this little divided bit there, and you put one in through the other, and then a little bit of arrangement. So then you've got the back bit's quite wide, so it comes up the back of your neck to keep back your neck warm, and then this bit you just arrange flat like that, so it just fills the gappy bit of your coat. So you've got your actual neck snug like you might have with a cowl, and then you've not got too much bulk filling out the top of your coat, because if you're busty like me, you don't want that, but that just fills up the little chilly bit of your coat opening. Or you can do your coat up not so high and not feel swamped. Do you know what I mean? You can still be warm but without feeling too buttoned up. I'm really pleased with that, and that was a bit of an experiment. So I just used, honestly, that's a Poundland yarn. That's a Poundland bog standard acrylic yarn, and I just thought, why not use that? I had it in my stash from something else. I'll use it up for that, and it worked. So now I can just crack on with that like video, can't I? Oh, this one is for this one's for my Etsy shop, so I might have even shown you this before, you know, so I'll be really quick with this. This is that recycled yarn, which I think is a Style Craft Recreate. So it's got like little neps in it, you can see little flecks of colour. It's really pretty. This is a 1940s ski hat pattern. It's just really simple sort of rib with like a sort of little texture bit in between, and it's got this lovely, I think of that as a sort of tea cosy folded closure at the top, and then these really cute little tassel braids on the side, and then you wear it in the 40s fashion, you wear it on the back of your head like that. And it's so cute. I really like, I'm not massively massive hat wearer, because I don't really like when they come right to the front and all the way around. I feel a bit I feel like I've got a pudding bowl on my head. I can't describe it, it's just all too much. But I like these vintage style ones that sit on the back of your head. That I can cope with. I'm going to stand up again. Watch out, because you can see my bum now. Sorry. Again, probably. Now, if I was a bit more professional, I apologise for my bum, I would have got all this stuff sorted out, wouldn't I, before I started, but there we go. I finished these lovely little shorty socks, again, made up pattern, just, you know, like a vanilla sock, but helical stripes, using up scraps. I won't bother putting the other one on the blocker, but here's the evidence I have actually made the pair. Very nice, aren't they? That's the light blue is Travel Knitter and the dark blue is Cozy Toes, and I just did a 1 row helical knit stripe, same for the toe, the same, you know, scrap of Cozy Toes sock. So they'll be good for trainer sock kind of things. Not that I wear trainers, I do wear Vans sometimes, and I'm not really a trainer person. I like them, but I do wear DM shoes, so they work nicely in that. Oh, look at this, I've got loads. I'm going to nearly finish with a finished item soon. Nearly finished with finished. This is a headband. I've gone very autumnal wintry for June, haven't I? Very simple little turban twist, ear warmer type affair. This is a random yarn. In fact, it's this random yarn that I got from a charity shop when I was caught outside the home without any knitting. So I needed to cast something on, and I thought the easiest thing to aimlessly knit is a headband, because it's just a long garter strip, again with my favourite I cord edging, and then you just, the way, there's plenty of tutorials online you can have a look for, then just the way that you sew it up makes this little sort of turban knot style on top. So I like that kind of vintage turban headband look. So that's that, and I'm going to make one of those little keyhole scarves to go with it. But yeah, that couldn't have been a cheaper project, because that yarn was something like £1.50, £2 in the charity shop. But it was someone else had knit something with it and unraveled it, so it was all crinkly, so I had to kind of wash a section of the yarn. Just a bit of a pain in the bum, if I'm honest. Now, what have I got in here? Oh yeah, I might have shown you these before, so I'm probably not going to spend much time on them. Don't worry. The mister's gone to see his mum today to go and do DIY jobs. Apparently his sister's been around there helping his mum do the painting, which is what he thought his mum wanted him to do. But he's going to do like the, you know, things that need doing up ladders. So he's quite happy, because he quite likes doing like practical things like that. And it's nice to help your mum out a bit with stuff, isn't it? So yeah, that's where he is this morning. So I'm home alone. Well, when I say home alone, me and the cat. But she's it's sunny, so she's flaked out on the patio outside. Well, she could at any moment come flying upstairs and tell me to get outdoors, because she's quite keen. If it's a nice day, she can't understand why you would want to be indoors. So if I'm indoors working, that can be a bit of a kind of a, like, she'll come in and be like, ow, what do you want? You're like, what are you doing? Anyway, look, I've gone off track. Using up scraps of Christmassy yarn, and these are all West Yorkshire spinners. It's 2 different ones. I think that one might be vintage tinsel, and I've done helical stripes again, but with 2 random grey yarns. One's darker than the other. See, the top is dark and the bottom's light. Just using up scraps. See, I finished the one, and I've got quite a lot done. Yeah, I'm on the foot. I'm on the foot of the other one. And I keep picking these up and putting them down again, not working on them, because they're Christmas socks, and I feel like I shouldn't be working on Christmas socks in June. But that's nonsense, isn't it? You can work on whatever you want, whenever you want. Like, no one's policing me. There are no knitting police. Oh, these socks as well. Crikey. These have been a battle. Nice yarn, nice pattern. Somehow I just can't find myself motivated to work on them. This was a pixie yarn, which is beautiful. I think it might be an exclusive or a one-off for Handmade Studios in Petersfield, but you can have a look. It's all I went on one of their sock Saturdays where you get like a random, you get given a pattern and the yarn, and you don't know what it is until the day, which is fun. But this is not a colourway that I would have chosen. It's all a bit too cutesy and purple for me. I don't like any of the shades of purple, lilac, mauve, none of that really. It's just not my thing. But it's a nice simple pattern. It's got this lovely like lace panel, and these are called, I can't remember who the designer is, but they're called the Let It Shine socks. So yeah, nice, just not, I don't know, can't seem to get going. Look, I've only done that much. Top down as a second sock, and even using my lovely Pickle Lily DPN holder doesn't seem to motivate me. I don't know why. I don't know why. Just can't seem to get on with it. Oh, I'm gonna what's in here? Oh, this is the odds and ends leftovers from my Aurora Hunter shawl. Oh, I so love this. I love this so much. I'm gonna do the Snaggletooth shawl, I think, next. Anyway, I so love this. I couldn't leave it alone. I was knitting on it at every opportunity, but now it's finished. I regret finishing it because I want to still be knitting it because it's so lovely. So I think that might be like a go-to in the future. But I've still got all my little bits and bobs in here, like my little nuggets of yarn that are left, because I want to weigh them and put all the exact amounts I used on Ravelry, in case that's helpful to anyone else. Oh, I've got a very boring baby blanket in there. Oh, I've got to show you a couple of things. My local yarn store, which has got quite a long name, it's called the Anne Louise and Thistle shop. It's a strange name, isn't it? But it's a really nice shop. They sell really only commercial yarns, but they also sell fabrics and quilting stuff and all kinds of crafting supplies, and it's a lovely shop staffed by really lovely people. But they do workshops, and they're so phenomenally popular that it's quite hard to. I've never managed. I've lived here for 5 years, and this is the first workshop I've managed to get on there. They don't do like workshops where, like, you know what I was saying about, like, you know, when you're doing an Intarsia workshop and it's like 2.5 hours at a yarn show or whatever have you, or someone's shop, and it's all complicated, you know, like they talk it up a bit, I feel. When really the whole technique is just lay your thread over. But they do crochet workshops, hand sewing workshops, and they have socials. I went to a social the other day. It was absolutely brilliant, really lovely, but they're very popular too, so they're quite hard to book onto as well. And it was just such a nice place and so enjoyable. But I did a quilting block one. Now, they're unusual in that you don't take your sewing machine. You just take a sewing kit with you and you do it by hand. And I love hand sewing, and it was so lovely. I didn't complete this in the class, so I did take it home and finish it, and all I had to do was I had to finish off one section of sewing these strips together and then put the whole thing together. But look at that, isn't that lovely? Now, I've done things like hexes in English paper piecing before, and then not really done anything with them, or squares. I've never done, you know, like a complicated, what to me this is a very complicated block. It might be a piece of pea to you, but for me that would be complicated, and I've never attempted anything like that, not on my own, and probably never would have. But oh my god, I love that she does the instructions herself. It's her own, you know, I don't know a lot about quilting. This may be a block that's well known in the quilting world, but she writes up her own instructions. She figures out how she's going to do it herself, writes up the instructions, and then they guide you through it when you're there, you've all got like a little miniature table that you sit at. You've all got your individual table, so you're not elbows at dawn with anyone. And it's all relaxed and lovely, and she's really happy and smiley, and she's there with her mum. I think her and her mum run the shop with like maybe another sister or some. They've got 2 shops. They've got one in Cow Plain and one in another place that I forget the name of. Anyway, if you ever find yourself down towards Portsmouth way, stop before you get there, nip into Cow Plain, and have a look at that Anne Louise and Thistle shop, where there are many delights. So yeah, I booked onto that, did that, loved it, took it home, finished it, because I was booked onto, I managed to get into one of their afternoon socials, which I do once a month. And so I took that along to show them. Now, it's not perfect. Some of my little pointy bits, 2 of my pointy bits don't quite meet up. But she was saying, you know, for a first go, you know, she said, we can probably, you know, you can allow yourself to be 1/8 of an inch out. Kind of puts it into perspective, doesn't it? Because, you know, like you get that kind of thing where you just think, oh no, mine's not perfect. It's, oh, I'm a bit rubbish, but oh, I'll show it to them anyway. And she was so nice. So nice. And I knew full well she was going to be nice, because she is nice. But I still kind of thought like, oh, shall I show it to her? Because I have not done a perfect job. Anyway. Now, when I was at the social thing, which I took that keyhole scarf to finish with me, I had seen this pattern had been emailed in a Sirdar, you know, newsletter, and I love this cardigan, and I thought, well, I'm not going to buy the pattern and the yarn online because they sell Sirdar in the shop, so I'd rather support local yarn store, obviously. So I bought this pattern because I don't have a nice serviceable plain cardigan, and I appreciate it is June. So, but it's Aran. It's Sirdar dual spun ombre Aran yarn. These are all the colours it comes in. I've gone for this one. They had in the shop, I think she had this one, purples, which is not my thing, and she had this red, or she had the grey. Now luckily it was the grey that I was after. I am quite tempted to go back for the yellow. Oh, not yellow, the red. Because even though I'm a redhead, I quite like wearing reds. I also like the way it upsets people who tell you can't wear red. So I bought the pattern and the yarn. I had the needles already, and the yarn is 1 ball. It's a 1 ball project, but when you see the size of the ball, look at that, what a beast. It's a 400-gram ball. It's absolutely enormous. Luckily it's not unwieldy, so I'm using the yarn from the outside because it's commercially spun yarn. That's what you're supposed to do, and I'm just knitting away on it. And now I cast this on today, Saturday morning. I cast this on Thursday evening, and I've done 19 rows of rib, and I've started on the body. This is the back. See, it's quite a nice sort of like loose fit. I'm doing size medium, and yes, I do know that this is acrylic yarn, and I don't want to hear any of your nonsense. If you don't like acrylic yarn and you've got opinions about it, good for you. Don't bother coming to me about it. Not until you tell me, you can show me that you live an entirely plastic free life, because everything you own is going to end up being a microplastic. So your car is full of it, your entire life is full of it. It's not me you need to go at the big manufacturers. And the people that want to tell you about the texture, the feel, the quality can also do one. This is, right, so round over, let's go back to the nice bit. It's so affordable that this yarn is beautiful, and it goes into quite a dark grey, as you'll see, because you've got a giant ball, didn't you? It goes from light to quite dark, but the repeats are very long. Do you see? So it's not all bitty, so it's quite a sort of serviceable thing. It will go with a lot, and it's just a dream to knit with. It's absolutely lovely. I bought the pattern and the yarn in one go, and I think it cost me about £26. Pretty. I bought something else maybe at the same time. Did I? No, I think I only bought that. Pattern and the yarn together, £26. I've got a jumper, a cardigan, and the joy and the fun of making it for £26. I couldn't buy a cardigan for £26 locally. I think even if I went into the Matalan, there's not many clothes shops where I live anyway. There's only really the supermarkets and a Matalan and a TK Maxx where I live. So I'm not sure that you would buy a cardigan for £26, and you certainly wouldn't have the joy of knitting it, would you? I'm really happy with it. I love it. I've got, as I say, it's a Serdar dual spun ombre. It is 100% acrylic. My shade is number 105, Silvery Moon, and I got dye lot 1, so I think it is quite new. The pattern anyway, I don't know if the yarn's new. I think it's been out for a while, but I absolutely love it. I'm so enjoying knitting it, and that's all I want to knit on at the moment. So I've gone from shawl to cardigan. Cardigan's a big old bonger of a ball sitting on my lap, but funny enough, it's not annoying. I thought, oh, that's going to be a pain in the bum, so there's no way it's going to fit in a yarn bowl, is it? But it's actually not so bad, not so bad at all. Now, I had such a touch of good luck. I went into, hold on, a little sip, the Sue Ryder charity shop in town had donated lots of little craft bits and bobs, mainly jewellery making stuff, and paper craft, as it usually is. They do have yarn in there, but I'm not, apart from that one that I bought for an emergency, I'm not massively keen on buying second-hand yarn, because you just never know, do you? And I can't be arsed with all that going through the sticking it in the freezer and that. I mean, rarely, sometimes I will, but very rarely. But they had, now this was so packaged up in a plastic bag within a plastic bag with it, you know, it was a bit kind of like, is that what I think it is? It's a full reel, and I think I paid £1.50 for this. It's a full reel of silicone cord. You may know it as barber cord. The people that came up with the idea, if you can afford it, definitely, it's nice. You get a little tin to keep it in and what have you, and they sell you so many meters of this. This is a 2.5mm width. I've since lost all the packaging, so I can't show you, but it's basically, it's just a silicone cord, barber cord, like for putting your stitches on when you're knitting and you've got to put some stitches and hold, instead of using a stitch holder, which can bong apart, can't they? I've got this massive reel now, and I'm never going to need to buy it again. I've already got it on like a few projects that I'm making. It was this thing. I make it in 2 halves and then graft it together at the centre back. That was on it, and it worked an absolute treat. I think it's a tiny bit thinner than maybe they use 3mm for barber cord, but I just pop it on. I know some people pop it on the end of their knitting needle. They're interchangeable. Take the cord off, pop that on. I squish a yarn needle in the end of it and just go through that way and do it, and then I literally tie it off, tie the 2 ends together, so it's, you know, like a little lasso of knitting. Anyway, I couldn't believe that. I was so pleased with it. I think they had one more in there in a different colour, but you know, that's more than a lifetime's worth of use for me. So if anyone wants any, I'm just carrying that around with me now as my my little gift to the knitting community. If anyone needs a stitch holder, I'm going to show them how to use that and cut them off some, because that's way more than I'm ever going to use. But I couldn't believe my luck when I saw it. I was so pleased, because I have bought barber cord at yarn fairs before, and it's in a tin, and the tin's a lovely little tin, like same sort of size tin as my, like that, isn't it? This is a hand cream. But these are very easy to lose. I can put these down and forget about them, and they resurface weeks or months later. But can I find that barber cord? Can I heck? So yeah, rather than keep shelling out for that, being an idiot and losing it, I've now got this massive quad of it. The only thing with it is it's silicone, and it has a slightly sort of tarmac smell to it, which is quite disconcerting, and it's quite strong. So I'm leaving it out a lot because I'm hoping like sunlight and daylight will somehow get rid of the smell, but it isn't. And I keep smelling tarmac, and then people tell you, don't they, that if you smell tarmac, then that's a sign that you're having a stroke. It's a bit dramatic, especially since the miss has been struck down with Bell's palsy in the last week. Oh, we had a lovely day out in A&E. He's all right. He's fine. And he's getting over it remarkably quickly. A week later, you can see him. He's got a lot of movement back in one side of the side of his face that's affected. But it was a bit alarming at the time because it does look very much like you've had a stroke. So obviously, straight to the doctor. From the doctor to A&E for a scan. They said you didn't need a scan. It's all fine. And I won't hear a word against the NHS. And when people say that they have these nightmare trips to A&E and they're on trolleys in the corridors for 72 hours, that's horrific. But that wasn't our experience. Our local A&E, we were, for the whole thing, from the GP appointment at midday, we were home by 20 to 4 with prescription filled, everything. So it was a really, I wouldn't say it was a good experience because you don't want to be ill, do you? But it was a great experience in that they saw us all really quickly and everything was dealt with, and everyone is fine. But yeah, at the same time, I'm smelling tarmac all the time. I'm thinking, what the chuff is that? Anyway, it turns out it's my barber cord. So that's it for knitting. I reckon next time I see you, I'll be wearing that cardigan. Well, probably not, because probably next time I see you will be July or August, so hopefully not. One tiny little book to show you that I read. Sarah Moss. I've got really into reading hardbacks at the moment. I was tapping my nails in that very annoying way that people do. I won't do it again. I love Sarah Moss. We read, for my book group, Summer Water, and half of the group hated it. It was a bit dark. But I found it very atmospheric. I loved all the descriptions of the campsite and the nature, and so it was absolutely gorgeous book. Loved it, and now I just read everything Sarah Moss that I can get my hands on. I haven't read either of her memoirs yet, but when this book Ripeness came out, bought it, and I even got the signed copy, which did make me laugh because I thought, oh brilliant, I'll get it, because it was no extra. I thought, well yeah, I'll have the signed copy, and I'll probably keep that because it's it's such a beautiful book, and I love her writing. So I thought, it might be one of those rare books I actually keep. Look at the signature. Do you see that? What's that? Yes, I kind of changed my mind about keeping this. So if you're interested in reading this, my copy is currently on Vinted. Yeah, I would say this is my least favourite of her books so far. I've seen lots of reviews where people say it's their favourite of her books. But I really liked The Fell. I really loved Summer Water and Ghost Wall, which was quite disturbing, but also beautiful. Beautiful writing. This one I felt like there was a lot of sentences that didn't quite work. It didn't quite scan. I felt like it was stuttery in places, or like maybe they missed some almost typos, if you know what I mean. No misspellings or anything, just almost like maybe when it had been edited, a word had been taken out that shouldn't have been. Do you know what I mean? Just had catches so that your eye didn't flow perfectly with it. Still a really good book, very interesting. But yeah, not my favourite. So but I did enjoy it, and I do still love Sarah Moss. I think that's it for me now. I think I need to go outside on the porch, on the swing, with my little cat, who I can hear tinkling about, and maybe do a bit of housework as well. I don't want to. It's so boring, isn't it, having to do housework, but also not so much fun living in a filthy house. My house is not filthy. Just, you know, if you never did any housework, it'd be grim in seconds, wouldn't it? Especially having a cat. The shedding her, she's very fluffy, so she sheds all over the place. So I am a slave to the Hoover. But we love her. So I can't wait to be able to wear this. I love it so much. If you feel tempted to make one, please let me know. Please let me know. It's the most delightful thing, and I just, I wish I could cast it on and start again. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you. Have a smashing weekend, and however long it is until I see you again. Lovely to spend some time with you. Thanks for sticking around. Bye bye.